So hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Mellob Experience. And so now you may be asking yourself, what is the Mellob Experience? Well, very simply, it is normally a radio show, a combination of myself, Ben Mellor, and my co-host Jacob Edwards. But here we are in video form, something very special. And if you do find us mildly entertaining, hopefully this will go beyond spoken elevator music, even though we do have a visual element today. But yeah, very quickly, why the name Mellob? Well, my last name is Mellor. Your first name is Jacob. Combine the two, Mellob, is an experience. Is an experience for me. I always learn something new on every single show. But today is no regular show with no regular sections. I mean, the whole show could be considered a special section because we have a very special guest. Hello.
We have an Ellie Dixon.
We do have an Ellie Dixon.
And a couple other people as well.
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Should we save the best till last, dare I say? So hang on.
Yeah.
Yourself?
Thank you. I'm Izzy. I'm the head of daytime programming at University Radio Nottingham, and I also host the Izzy and Izzy show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm Rachael, and I'm the host of the URN Top 25.
Both very good shows.
Thank you very much.
Jacob, do you want to give yourself an official introduction?
I'm just Jacob. I don't know.
Jacob.
I don't know. Yeah,
Host of the Mellob Experience.
I guess. And
Host of Daytime Dose of Jolo.
yeah,
That one too.
Jolo
There you
show.
go. Remembering your shows.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, I'm Ben Mellor, as aforementioned. I'm head of news programming at URN, and I also co-host the Mellob Experience as well. So here I am.
Ellie Dixon, who are you?
Who am I? It's a good question. I'm Ellie Dixon. I am a alt pop artist, producer, songwriter, and all-round lizard.
Apparently, yeah. So usually our first section on this show is a bit of book chat.
You a big
Does
reader
everyone
at all?
on the panel? Do we like books? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I love
Good.
books.
Yeah.
I wish I read more. I read loads when I was younger, and as life has got busier, I just
Yeah.
read less. I'm a very slow reader.
Same with me, and it's not good for my degree.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty tragic. So I'll get through like one book a year,
Yeah.
but I'll be really proud of that one book. So
Any book currently?
currently, I'm rereading Northern Lights.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, cute.
Because
Okay.
I read historic
Yeah.
materials when I was like 13 or something.
Yeah.
So I'm just.
Have
kind
you
of
been
listening.
keeping up with the show as well? Or
I haven't been keeping up with the show
okay.
at all. So
it's got a cheeky bit of Lin-Manuel Miranda, so I'm always
really?
down. Yeah.
Damn.
Mhm.
Gotta give it a watch.
What about you over there?
So I did an undergraduate in English.
Oh yeah.
So I was
forget
Oh,
that.
wow.
really into books and
Yeah,
reading.
my guy.
And then it squashed it
Oh.
because I was like, oh, I need
Oh,
to
no.
actually study now. But I had so many favourite books when I was younger.
Yeah.
Gosh, now I don't even know where to start. I really liked when studying English, War of the Worlds.
Oh, H.G. Wells.
Great, quite
Yeah.
classic. I really enjoyed that, and that's kind of one that I always go back to. But I'd say I'm not reading anything currently, so I'm quite busy. But that is definitely one that I'm looking to reread. And so, yeah.
Nice.
I'm also currently studying English,
Woo!
so I mean, like, best panel ever.
Yo.
And so yeah, like, in the past I used to read absolutely loads. My Goodreads is pretty good.
Nice.
The goodest of reads.
It's the goodest of reads,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think my favourite book, if I had to choose one, probably has to be like Simon versus Homo Sapien Agenda. Like,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah, but that's not why I'm going, ooh.
Ooh.
I would only give it a 6.5 or a 7.
Controversy.
Okay, but
Oh,
anyways,
I'm
do,
gonna-
do continue.
I think just that book, it just like opened my eyes and literally changed my life. Like the whole series of Becky Albertalli, it was mind blowing for me. Like, it was insane. The whole aesthetic of it, I did just, my COVID years was just that series.
Yeah,
and it was amazing.
To be fair, during COVID, my reading, like, I use Storygraph. And
Ooh,
again,
I've never heard of
controversy.
this.
Yeah, well, it's not behind Bezos' bank, so yeah. But there's like 180 books that year. Insane. And
Nice.
since then, I don't know. I've read like 2 books this year, which
Yeah.
is
Have you,
all right. It's something.
Your previous pace was a book every 2 days. I think you deserve a
Yeah,
rest.
jeez.
Yeah.
Like, I suppose
That's
I'm
mad.
I'm sort of the opposite to you, Ellie, because sort of I didn't read as a child,
It didn't.
and this was sort of my becoming, sort of
It's
my
kind
lack
of the premise
of
of the show.
Yeah, it's just my
ish.
lack of knowledge whatsoever, and it's only sort of like towards the end of A levels, because I hated English at school. More of a mathsy kid.
Yeah. same.
Hey.
I have a maths degree. So.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you actually.
Well, there
My
we go.
A levels were
Yeah.
actually maths, further maths, physics, and English.
So
So-
swap out English or French, and that was my A levels.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Pleasure.
Oh.
Your hands are so warm.
From
Oh.
the mug.
Yeah, how's the tea?
It wasn't just like clammy hand.
No. Yes. Books.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This is a common feature, as sort of regular
Yeah.
listeners or
Mhm.
now viewers will know. We sort of we ramble a little bit, but
Mm,
we'll
we
do
do.
our best to keep. You
Yeah.
know, very special guests. We need to stay professional
It's
there. I
literally
say.
in the intro, brain rambly zone.
I mean, that is
So,
true.
yeah.
That is
I love a
true.
brain ramble.
You know, we stick to the brand.
Yeah.
On brand. But no, I sort of got into reading late, and I've been a little bit of a reading rut lately. I just the last book I read, and I promise it's a. Thank you. I
We're
promise.
here for you.
Thank you. I promise it's an optimistic book, but the book is a very good one, and it was called "Everybody in This Room Will Someday Be Dead."
Ah.
Beautiful cover. That's what originally drew. It's like it's a hardback, and it's like this beautiful orange, almost like this NSTV orange actually. But yeah, the book was just. Yeah, it was just like
Sounds
about-
inspiring.
Well, it's almost like a bit of a sort of murder mystery, and basically it's about this sort of woman who's sort of a bit sort of lost in life, very not religious, but somehow ends up as a receptionist at a church. But the receptionist
As
before her died,
Oh.
and so it's sort of like investigating the cause behind that, and then turning life around, and
Oh.
all that sort of hoo-ha.
Oh, I do love a
On
mystery.
the, on the
Yeah.
topic of that, has anyone read They All Die at the End?
Ah, no, I
No.
haven't.
Yeah.
A gasp
Yeah.
over here.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's when you read the book and then you're just like, oh, maybe all of them will survive.
Yeah.
Obviously, you just read the title of the book.
Yeah.
And you know what's coming,
That's
and
what it
yet
says
it's
on the
still
tin.
harrowing
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end. It's
Sometimes
like,
that makes more suspense because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like
True.
you're waiting for the moment
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than wondering what's
Mm.
going to happen.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
Did you have a little
Brilliant.
sob?
I did. I cried
Yeah.
a lot. It was one. It was a lockdown book, so I was
Ah,
very alone.
yeah.
I read it. I was like,
Oh,
If you like mysteries, has anyone read The Appeal?
The appeal?
no.
It's really good. So it's a murder
Dish the tea.
mystery, and basically it's a thick book,
Mm.
but it's a murder mystery that's basically you're reading it from the perspective of two like new police officers that have been put on this case, and all you have is emails. So the whole story is told through emails, and I think it's really good. You have to give it quite a minute because you are reading through a lot of what read
Yeah.
like really dull emails, but I really like it because
I love an email.
yeah. Oh, I mean,
I've been loving emailing your manager over there. Where is he? It's wonderful.
Oh.
yeah, it's just like I think there's something really good about having it set in something so mundane
Yeah.
and very like something that's really familiar.
It's like you wouldn't
Mm.
expect it, and then
Exactly,
oh,
and then it sort of gets
Yeah.
weirder and weirder, and it's like it's set in a rural village, and you
ah,
know how just it reads
Yeah.
exactly like a village Facebook page would
Ah.
read.
Oh,
Like
brilliant.
all
Love
of the
that.
voices
You
are
have no
just
authority.
Yeah.
it's literally that, like it reads so well, like
Mm.
you can just see all the characters so clearly, so
bit
it's
Hot
very
Fuzz
good.
vibes.
Mm.
Yes.
You know what, I was just
Fun.
thinking that. That was in my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next topic.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
that's
I mean,
the vibe.
I've got a theory that sort of emails and real mail have like swapped over. Like you don't get excited by an email anymore, like you do sort of 2000s.
I get excited when I email.
Okay, well mine emails are just full of like, wow,
Bank statement.
here's a clothing brand that just wants to send me an
I
offer
don't
for
get
nothing.
excited about those.
But I
Yeah.
feel like when I get a letter like through the
Yeah.
mailbox, it
Yes.
feels special now.
Especially if you
true.
get a letter from like friends or family.
Mm.
Like I don't want a
Handwritten.
letter from my bank,
No,
realistically.
no.
But a letter from a friend is like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you wrote this
Yeah.
with your
Getting-
hands.
Mm.
Getting like Christmas
Your
cards
own
and
two
birthday
hands.
cards. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. It
I
feels
love
very
sending
special.
postcards though. It's like
Mm.
so it just feels like a little more love, you know?
Yeah,
Dunno.
a little more je ne sais quoi.
Je ne- Oh, there's the French.
Ah, oui, oui.
I mean, speaking of sort of postcards, this is sort of a Jacob area of expertise. Do you travel much at all? Sort of just for fun, not for touring?
Good question.
I used to. I mean, pre lockdown, I did a lot more. But last year, I probably did the most traveling around I've done in
Yeah.
a year because
Well,
of touring.
Yeah, you toured with Sam Ryder. didn't you,
Yeah.
for a
Oh,
little
it's
bit?
the
Or was
Sam.
that- oh,
So
that was
I
this year.
played London shows with
Yeah,
Sam Ryder,
yeah.
but we got to play multiple, which was really
Mm.
nice. But yeah, I went to LA for the first time ever last year for a
Wow.
red carpet. I toured in Germany and the Netherlands. I
And
went
you're
back to
touring
Germany.
again.
Yeah,
This, yeah.
exactly. Back
Uh-huh.
to Germany in May for my
Mhm.
tour. I played some German festivals as well. So yeah, like the most flying around I've done
Mm.
for a while. So feels good.
Sounds like global domination to me.
It
I
does
agree.
sound that way.
Yeah, it's happening.
I mean, if you had to narrow down a place, what would you say is your favourite? I mean, I don't travel a lot. But Germany, Netherlands, like any LA. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories
I've
about
never
LA.
ventured that far, yeah.
No.
It was LA was a really interesting trip because
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to expect, but I had a lot of people with very differing opinions because it's quite it's a huge city, and obviously there's loads of sides to it, and your experience will massively depend on where you're going, what you're doing. But I sort of saw a lot of sides because we stayed in like a downtown area which was much less glamorous, and then I went to a red carpet event, so it was like really it was like I literally
Healthy
saw
balance.
I saw like both quite extreme ends of LA, so it was a really interesting trip and very eye-opening, and the glamorous bits were super glamorous, but definitely it would be too much to live there.
What was
for
the
me.
red carpet for?
It was for the iHeart Awards.
Oh.
It was. I was literally like, I was like 5 meters away from J-Lo.
Oh my god.
I know.
My old show used to be called Daytime Dose of J-Lo, so...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was wild. I was quite starstruck. Like, Lil Nas was there, I think.
Little Ellie Dixon.
Yeah. Little old me.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's interesting because I imagine people get starstruck by you now. I mean, I'm a little starstruck.
Stop
But
it.
how is that as like a shift going from, I imagine, being starstruck by these people to people being starstruck by you?
Oh, it feels utterly absurd because I'm like not intimidating in any way, shape, or form.
I loved in your video, which came out yesterday, although when
Hashtag
this
spawn.
comes out,
Spawn,
probably a
absolutely.
few days ago,
Yeah.
but just the free dino hugs thing, that was so
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, we've been doing it in every city on this tour, this radio tour
You've
so
done it
far.
not.
We're about to, after this, we're
Oh.
going to go do it in the
Brilliant.
centre of Nottingham.
May or may not be taking a surprise trip to the centre of
Yeah.
Come with
I
guys.
just so happen to live there, so if you want to come with me.
Oh, well.
I do
House
live
party.
in the centre. Yeah.
Amazing, nice. Yeah, we've been doing it in every city
That's so
along the
sweet.
way, just
Wow.
briefly. So
Mm.
it's really wholesome, and I think it's just like,
Yeah.
just something really different. But it's stuff like that kind of I think is important for me to kind of establish myself as someone that's quite accessible.
Yeah.
I don't think I really want the image of being like,
Get away.
yeah, or like on a pedestal,
too-
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Mm.
Because like I wouldn't want to get near J-Lo, you know what I mean? I'm just like, so it's,
Yeah, stay within 10 feet at least.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I met Avril Lavigne that night.
Really?
Whoa.
Oh, that's a big name drop.
Yeah, I
Oh.
know. I have a
What a
photo.
And your
Thanks.
besties now.
Oh!
Uh-huh.
Do you have a Be Real with her though?
I don't
That's
have
the
a
question.
B-roll.
Oh, wow.
Tragically, I missed my chance.
That's so cool. Did you get to speak to her then?
Very, very briefly. She
Awesome.
definitely wanted to get away. And I was like, you're amazing. I'm just such an inspiration because I get a photo. So that was interesting.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Who have you been starstruck by, Jacob?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, Matty Healy.
Yeah.
I didn't
yeah,
actually.
Fair
I was
enough.
front row, so it was
Oh.
enough. It was enough for me, and I don't. If I'd come any closer, I wouldn't have kept my hands off him, to be honest. So
You were on the big
probably the
screen.
best.
at the
I was,
show.
yeah.
Oh,
Caught that
wow.
me, yeah.
Where did you see him?
Here, Notts.
Ah,
Yeah,
amazing.
Motorpoint Arena. Yeah.
Wow.
Which
That was a good
you
show.
aren't coming to. You aren't coming to Notts for your tour. What's happening there?
I know. You have to take it up with my live agent.
Okay, I will.
It's
Send me
not
their
me.
number.
I would really. I've played a show here. I supported Casey Lowry here last year, and it was so like it was one of my
Yeah.
favourite crowds I've played as well. So I would really love to come back. So I'll take it up with her.
Rachel, have you ever been starstruck really?
I'm currently being very starstruck.
That's the correct answer.
Literally. So, yeah, I came into studio today after having a quick message from Ben being, can you get here very quickly? And I was like, I'll run here. And so I came into studio, like, literally just I don't have a watch. Like 15 minutes ago or something. And then just like, just say, looking at everyone go like,
Aw,
but
you guys.
I mean, you are a big fan, aren't you?
yeah, like I live, breathe URN. Like even so, I think I was coming out of a lecture at some point, and then someone who's currently on URN, I heard them speak, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the
Yeah.
leader of this. But yeah, I get starstruck very easily.
That's amazing. That's nice. I feel like it's just nice to like get excited about things, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like
Yeah.
have passion for things. I think is so important.
Yeah, it's like getting a little glow in your chest or something.
Yeah.
It's like a
Do you
nice
have
little-
passion for music?
Yes,
Wow.
quite a lot.
Oh yeah.
That's convenient.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
helps, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty useful, to be honest.
On this little like radio tour though, you've just been in Birmingham
Mhm.
and you were in Leeds
Yeah,
as well.
and Manchester
Manchester.
yesterday.
Oh, Manchester. Do you like
Yeah.
Manchester?
Yeah.
I like Manchester. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been a couple times now, but every time's been
Yeah.
like really, really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah. So, was that your favourite place thus far on your like radio thingy-majig? Or-
Well, I would say kind of has to be Nottingham.
Oh,
Correct
Yay.
answer.
This
No, I'm
is
starstruck.
the nicest campus I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's
That is
gorgeous,
partly why
yeah.
I chose this university for the campus.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Trent students out there,
Yeah. It's understandable.
but oh,
It's so lush.
Yeah,
So lush.
it's easy to spend all of my days here.
We just rolled in. I was like, this feels like it actually reminds me of like CERN in Geneva.
Wait, you've been there?
I went on a physics trip.
Oh.
Yeah,
A-levels.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They always said we would, and then they never did.
I didn't realise that was a campus. I thought it was all underground.
A lot of
Yeah.
it's underground,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
all
This
like,
is my lack of knowledge coming in.
there's
reminds
labs
me-
and stuff
I
as
think
well.
this campus
Ah.
reminds me of Centre Parks.
Centre
Yeah,
Parks.
Centre
you know what I mean? Like
Parks.
especially the Downs, which is like the kind of, it's just a big
Yeah.
green area. I just feel like
Just
I'm in
green,
Centre
yeah.
Parks.
Yeah.
With all the
That's
halls
nice,
around.
to be
Mm.
fair. Holiday
Mm.
vibes.
Yeah, holiday vibes.
24/7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
It's great.
interestingly, I know a lot about campus, but amazing segue here. You're going to be so proud. You know
Oh.
what I don't know a lot about? TikTok.
Hey.
Okay.
Strong.
Got it
strong.
in. Hashtag spawn, I guess.
Bravo.
I don't, but yeah.
Rachel, do you want to take the reins for a little bit of this TikTok segment for the beginning? Is that all right?
What is a TikTok?
Well, let's talk about Kesha. So TikTok is a short-form social media platform. It used to be Musical.ly. A throwback
Wait,
to
I thought
Musical.ly.
It was a
Yeah.
separate app.
Yeah.
No,
realise
it
was
was
that.
like the
Oh.
progression.
Oh,
Were
yeah.
you like a Musical.ly?
No,
babe, were you not?
no, I avoided
Oh.
Really?
like, strongly.
Yeah.
And I just didn't, but like it took me a
Yeah.
while to kind of understand the platform, because I think a lot of people had like just didn't understand Musical.ly and then didn't understand TikTok,
Yeah.
and then it like passed a threshold
Yeah.
where everyone jumped on board.
Yeah, to be fair, you
Basically.
did get bullied if you had Musical.ly.
Literally, yeah. So I was
Literally.
like,
I
I'm
think that's
gonna
why I
just,
didn't
I'm
have it
just
as well,
gonna
yeah.
steer clear.
But yeah, so it was originally Musical.ly. It went onto TikTok. So it was uncool to have TikTok until around like what, mid 2018,
Was it?
2019
I'd
ish.
say lockdown.
I thought TikTok
Yeah.
was newer than
Yeah,
that.
I didn't really know
Yeah.
much about
Yeah.
it before lockdown
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all.
What made you get into it then?
All my friends were telling me to get it, basically,
Oh.
because I was posting like stupid short videos to Instagram, and
what I
all my
like to
friends
do.
were like, go on TikTok, but I didn't really understand it and didn't know what the platform was, and it was just at the time the image of it was like, it's just kind of like kids doing mad shit, basically. Am I
And was that
allowed to
videos
swear?
of your music,
can
or
edit
just
out.
like?
Okay.
Was that videos of your music, or was it just like you know,
Music.
kind
I
of
was
comedy
also
stuff?
doing just kind of stupid stuff. Because it was lockdown, I just had a bit more free time, so I just did like a joke video of me washing my hands to like a really cursed version of Shania Twain's.
Nice.
Let's go, girls. That one.
Brilliant.
So yeah, just kind of just
That is quality, to be fair.
cursed memes
Yeah.
basically. So yeah, everyone was like, you should get TikTok, and then I got TikTok, and I
Yeah.
didn't understand it. Like it took a few months for me, because I was literally reposting my like really super edited, filmed on my nice camera
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
videos, landscape,
Oh.
would post those onto my TikTok
Wow.
and be like, they're gonna
Smashed
love
it.
this one, and just like absolute crickets. And I was like, why why isn't this popping up?
Yeah, I feel like it's always the videos that you put the least amount of effort in, and they're the
Do
ones
so
that go
well,
viral.
Yeah.
You know?
But then I tried, I did like not enough effort, and it would just be like, I just videoed me, my mum and my sister trying to like hang an orange on a string, and it was just like that no one can connect with this. This
Oh,
is absurd.
I mean, I do
Yeah.
have a question. Why an orange on a string?
I honestly, I wish I could remember.
I'm starting to
why.
see where the maths degree comes in.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it was actually just 3D modelling.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have no idea. I genuinely have no explanation for what
I thought it
that
was going to
was.
be like you say, Christmas decoration or something like that, but no, just
No, because it was in
oranges on
like
strings.
it was like April. I don't know why. I don't know why that was happening, but lockdown kind of did a
It's the
weird
most
thing.
wonderful time of year.
I mean, that's true. I mean, I made some listeners, some of you guys might know that I made a
Oh!
replica music video.
Bat
my
of
God.
hell.
Bat Out of Hell.
You what?
So, have you not seen it?
No.
It's incredible.
This sounds
It is.
amazing.
You will have to
You
show
made a
her
music
after,
video.
please.
Okay.
Oh my
I'll-
goodness.
I will get a sort of showable link for the viewers out there, and I will show you after this little
Please.
show.
I'm giving like an office
It's-
moment when
it's
they're
quite
like, look at the
something.
camera.
I
like.
can't sing. It was filmed on an iPhone using like the lid of a box of screwdrivers as a stand with blue tack.
Respectable.
Is this the kind of production value you invest in?
Yes, actually. But I filmed my room the other day after having a bit of a meltdown, trying to
Yeah.
film a video with like cool lighting that I couldn't
Mhm.
get to work. And I had like a disco ball hanging off a mic stand that was like on top of my wardrobe being held down by rucksacks. And then like a torch balanced on a rock, like pointing at the disco ball. And then I had a light that wouldn't quite go high enough, so I like roped it to my
Wow.
chair. So this is bang on, basically.
This is the production quality I can get behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, that's probably, despite everything, despite my absolute inability to sing, unlike you, may I say.
You are
Um,
incredible.
yeah.
We were saying it just then, but you really are.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Stop. If you want to contrast my video,
I'm really excited.
It'll be
But-
inserted,
Yeah, Ben's version's gonna drop.
yeah. Well, actually, it is unlisted on YouTube, but it's not copyright strike, so only I can see it. So, but clearly I'm that good. Clearly,
Yeah.
clearly
They saw you as a threat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Well,
hearing.
Yeah.
Meatloaf himself just out to take me down. What can I say? But
Yeah.
it is the full 9-minute
could-
version I did.
You could do a more like modern version, and you could be Nutloaf.
You know what?
We stand the
I respect that.
Amazing.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a question about TikTok. So what do you?
Yeah.
So obviously you've used TikTok as a kind of platform for your music. What do you make of TikTok as a platform for music and kind of promoting and there's like songs, snippets of songs going viral. What do you make of it, and how have you used it in your career?
I think it's such an interesting platform. Like psychologically, I find it a really interesting place because I think it has such extremes as a platform and I think a lot of that's to do with the speed of it means that it's like trends rise really quickly and fall really quickly, and these snippets of songs go super viral and get huge, and then you have artists getting crazy success, and you also have artists that then drop off the map because people have moved on. And I think it's a really interesting platform because I think it's given people numbers like never before. And it's given a platform that can instantly give you fame if you want it to. Someone, I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, where we were sort of saying it's kind of like the modern outsourced equivalent of like International Britain's Got Talent. Basically, it's like a whole talent competition, and it's like, can you break?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Can you break
definitely.
through? And
There's
then
a lot of stuff.
and then you have record labels and people kind of waiting to see who breaks through. And I think it's a really interesting platform. And I mean, I owe so much of my success to TikTok because that was how a lot of my stuff was reaching people. But I think it's such a minefield, I think, for artists. And obviously there's been big chats, like lots of conversation with bigger artists about pressures that labels are putting on them to put out TikToks, and then you see like super cringy TikToks of artists that clearly don't want to do it being forced to do it. And it's sort of, I think it's a really interesting platform because once bigger business and rather than individuals see it as a marketing platform, I think it gets weird quite quickly because you get like Ryanair making memes of their planes talking, and you're like, where am I?
What is happening?
I do love those ones though.
They are
Do you also
great.
get the Duolingo bird?
Yes.
Oh gosh, that's the best.
Yeah. It's
Someone
just
to hunt
so
me down.
strange. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm haunted
Quick
by
moment
that
to flex my 428-day streak. Thank you.
Oh wow.
I do
I'm
also.
actually on a
Genuinely
7-day
impressive.
streak at the moment.
Oh really?
I'm learning Greek.
We should friend each
now.
other.
Oh wow.
Going
Can
to
you
Athens.
friend each other on Duolingo? What? How does that work? You
Well,
just
why
watch
don't you
each other's-
download it?
Find out.
Add
Add
me.
me. That's so funny.
I mean, not to flex, but my streak is currently -8 because I hadn't opened the app in like over a week.
I've got a 5-day streak.
Oh!
I know, little baby.
It's amazing.
This actually does lead into something I believe
Does
was
it?
sort of
It
alluded to at the
does?
start. Yeah.
You sure?
No.
Okay.
You know a second language?
Do I know a second language? I studied French.
Yeah.
And I've lost most of it. So that's a big fat no.
No.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Wow.
So like the worst accent. But
Bonjour.
bonjour.
What made you want to learn French though?
I just learnt it since I was like 7, I think, but not
Good enough reason.
on and off, basically. I had a
Yeah.
French friend when I was about 5, and
Yeah.
I really
Oh, nice.
liked the sound of the language, and I used to come home and sort of make French-sounding noises to my mum, and she was like, are you speaking French? But I was just quite convincing, basically. But I struggled with language because I felt quite like, quite self-conscious about speaking it wrong.
Yeah.
I think I need to know rules, and I need to feel like I'm good at something. I'm really hard at. I find it really hard. That was an unfortunate slip. I find it really hard to do something that I'm probably going to slip up.
Yeah.
I think I find that hard when someone knows a lot more than me, if someone's fluent, you know. So I never like pushed myself enough, which I is a shame because I would really like to speak more of it. But
you turned out all right.
I'm doing
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. What you are really good at is making music, and well, I've got so many questions about that because well, you write, produce, and sing your own stuff and everything, and play all the instruments, right? Or like even all those sample too. It's just insane. How do you do all of that? Like, did you get into it? When did you get into it, and why? What made you want to?
I got into production when I was about 13, I would say. 13, so like 11 years ago now. So been doing it for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And basically my dad downloaded like a bit of production software on the family computer back when it was a communal situation. And you could like drag and drop like loops and samples, and then like I'd record my voice in on the webcam. So
The dark ages.
Then we got like this microphone that was like this tiny little like stick on a mount, and I love my claws. I'm really not getting much. It was weird. But yeah, I just fell in love with the idea that you could just like make music. You didn't have to get someone else to do anything. You could just had all the tools at your disposal to just like make a song, which I just thought was, I just kind of really blew my mind, basically.
Do you still produce it and everything from your bedroom, or?
Yeah, all in my bedroom.
Really?
Yeah, so like Swing, Big Lizard Energy, everything still.
Talk about Swing. Swing's my favourite song.
Yeah.
You performed at the
Slaps.
Student Radio Awards.
Yeah.
And you performed Swing at the end, and I was right at the front having a little vibe.
We were vibing.
It was great. We were having a great time.
You were. I remember that. It was
I
great.
remember when I met you after. You're like, I know who you are.
You're a good
Wild.
song.
Can we talk about Swing quickly? So how did that song come about? The kind of production behind it.
Yeah, so I was off on like a writing trip, basically. I'd signed with Decca, and I kind of needed to start writing, getting some ideas for kind of like an album project. And I'd been working so hard on my previous EP release and then kind of social media, basically, that I hadn't written anything or hadn't written much. So I went away, I booked an Airbnb in the Cotswolds, took all my studio gear, set up in the bedroom, and it was like an amazing view across the fields.
Imagine,
And I just, it was just nice to get away from everything and get away from social media. I told all my friends, like, you won't be able to reach me for a week. I didn't go on my phone at all. And I just started writing. And I mean, the kind of way I start a lot of my songs is by just hitting some random objects that I find. And so I sort of went into the kitchen, like grabbed all the stuff that was in there, brought it all upstairs, and was like, turned the mic on and was like,
Brilliant.
ding, ding, ding. I like that one.
Yeah.
So the main sound of Swing is me hitting a glass with a whisk. Seemed to
That's amazing.
just made a really good sound.
Do you bake much?
No, just make sweet tunes.
whisk.
Oh yeah, you know it
to
all.
be in the Airbnb. There you go. It's interesting because I've got to admit my musical knowledge is very limited. There is one band I'm a fan of though. Very big genre contrast, Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
Yep, but because I know that when they write songs, like they always book somewhere sort of like just isolated and away from everything, and
It's
so
quite common. I think I think because generally being an artist is really busy, and I think there's this idea that you sort of like wake up and write a song and go play some music and then go to lunch or something like that. It's it's admin heavy. Like I spend my life in meetings and doing emails and it's super intense. And because you're running a business, but you're running a business that does so many things when you're doing social media and music releasing and music marketing and you're touring, and there's so many aspects of it. So I think for a lot of artists it's like being able to write music in a setting where everyone knows you're not reachable and you are in like protected space that isn't going to get interrupted. I think that's what really makes, for a lot of people, I think it creates a space where you can fully relax and spend like a longer period of time focusing, basically.
And sleep.
Honestly, great stuff.
Is there many lyrics that come to you in the shower? Classic shower thoughts that are...
Yes. The last good shower thought I had was I made a TikTok duetting a guy who was rapping about boobs. I don't know if you saw that.
I think
Nice.
I did,
I have not.
It was so funny. In the shower, I was like, what if you make it into like a sea shanty? But make it like Nickelback. And I was just scrubbing my pits like, great idea.
Yeah.
Like stomping my foot, like starting to sing about it, and then made my latest viral TikTok.
Yeah, stumbled on gold there.
Yeah, it happens. Shower thoughts are strong.
Wow, I respect that.
Yeah.
Swing wise though, I know the story behind it. It's like the amount of negativity and everything you received from, like, was it TikTok?
Yeah.
Mainly?
Yeah.
So is it a blessing and a curse, would you say, TikTok?
Yeah, definitely. I think any platform where there is a lot of people that isn't, it's regulated, but it's mostly sort of algorithmically regulated. There's only so much they can manually do.
Yeah.
You're just going to hit weird pockets and people, one thing that I think would help social media a lot is I think if people took it a bit less seriously, ironically, because I feel like social media is a really jokey place, but I also think that if you see someone trying or doing something, it's like, wow, this must be the peak of their existence. Like, and I was basically doing loads of different verses on songs, and some people didn't like some of them, and it was like, I made it in an hour. Like the idea of social media is you just kick out loads of different ideas and you see where they go. And I think people commenting like, never touch a microphone again, you know, it's so intense, and just like, have a day off, you know. But it's a shame because and it's every artist I speak to, even people with such high self-esteem, you can have all the confidence in the world, but it's really hard to not absorb it. And so the reason I wrote Swing was to try and give myself permission to kind of be a bit angry and try and take some power back, especially because I was getting a lot of backlash on one where I was rapping, and so to do a song that was a lot more kind of rap and spoken word based felt like a big kind of reclaiming of what I was getting hate for and feeling self-conscious about, and I think that was really important for me to kind of feel empowered again.
Do you feel like you've overcome it then, sort of the anxiety behind that? Or
I think I still feel it every day. I think as soon as your platform gets to a certain size, I think every video I post I sort of overthink about and still get hate every single day. I think it's hard knowing that but everyone does. That's what's so sad is every artist I know, especially every female artist I know, or any sort of feminine presenting artist I find gets quite extreme backlash on TikTok, and it's weird knowing that there is somewhere that you can always open and find something negative about yourself. I think psychologically weird.
How do you deal with that? Like, obviously creating bangers like Swing is a great way
helps.
to do that. But like, how do you deal with
whisk in a
that?
glass.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm cured.
Yeah, like, how do you deal with that? Is it like, do you have a process? Do you have like a sort of routine that you do to
nice
kind of
cuppa.
go for it? Yeah, nice cuppa.
Sometimes it's just talking to friends and family. I think it's so easy to feel isolated when you're in that space because it's just you and your notifications, you know. So definitely speaking to friends and family and reminding myself of the people whose opinions I actually care about, you know, and what they think. And the other thing is just I've got way more boundaries in place with social media. I don't read every comment now. I used to honestly read every single comment and reply to every single comment, and it was okay when things were positive, but if you know that you're going to eventually come across something negative, for me it was just like, I'll stick to my Instagram DMs where I know the people reaching out are people who care, and then take a step back and not be checking the performance of every single video as soon as it's posted, because it's such a minefield, and it's not real. It is real and results in real life sort of manifestations, but it's not the tangible world around you, and it is so distorted and can feel so overwhelming and doesn't necessarily give you the true picture of what that person said and what mood they were in and why did they say it and where are they in their life and all of the history that triggered them to particularly dislike you in that moment. It's nothing to do with you, but when you just see words on a screen targeted at you, it's so different. So it was very much just removing myself and creating boundaries and reminding myself that this isn't my life, but it is a part of what I do. Basically.
What is your life outside of this music? What do you like to do in your free time?
I really love cooking. I'm really passionate about food. Love going
eating.
outside. Just eating.
Eating's nice.
It's good stuff. You have to do it as well.
Just a bit, yeah.
Turns out.
What's your favourite dish, food item? Dish the dish, come on.
That's
Oh my god, dish the dish, that's so strong. Well done. Are we talking like I'm making it, I'm going out and buying it? Because I feel like it's a big difference.
What are you making?
What's your speciality?
My speciality? I make a mean spaghetti bolognese. Slow cooked for hours, fresh basil. Yeah.
All right.
So much
I
more
quick cook it in minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you can whip it up real quick, but I really like sort of having my sort of cauldron bubbling away all day.
Dedication.
I think it's like
the smell. I bet it would smell so.
Living with you would be heaven. I feel.
My flatmate as well is amazing at cooking, so the house always just smells really good with something. So
I do have a bolognese question.
Bolognese Ben.
No.
That's what they call him.
It's bolognese hour.
There you go. Do you put grated carrots in your bolognese?
Yes, I was just talking about this the other day. Did you get this from your mum? Because this
He
is
knows.
absolutely my mum.
Bolognese Ben.
Yeah, I did.
Who is your mum? Are we related?
My mother is a dear lady called Trudy Mellor. With an I, not a Y.
Trudy.
Trudy. It is
Trudy.
She's up Trudy.
completely English. But no, that is a interesting facet to the name, I suppose.
But grated carrot. It's such a hack in a bolognese.
Honestly, brings it all together. I feel
It does. It adds a sweetness, but with a bit more flavour and earthiness than just sugar.
I agree.
It's just great.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
I cannot argue with that one.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of any more.
Maybe I should make music.
But
I want to talk about spaghetti arrabbiata.
Do
I'm
it.
loving arrabbiata recently. My boyfriend made for me, and now I cook it every night, and I'm going to have it tonight, and I'm very excited about it.
I'm
It's so
excited for
easy.
you.
it's the little things in life.
So easy. It's just
Yeah.
carrot, tomatoes, bit of chili flakes. That's it. Maybe a bit of onion garlic.
Arrabbiata with prawns as well is my personal favourite.
I love prawns.
It's good.
That's
It's
on the
good.
menu tonight. Do it.
Speaking of not spaghetti, you sort of mentioned something that actually gives me is a question for any celebrity really that I've always just really been fascinated about.
Okay.
And sort of you mentioned sort of staying in touch with friends, things like that. What is the process of like making and meeting new friends as a celebrity? Because I imagine it's quite different to
That's a good one.
just
That's a
like
really good one.
being like old chum in the radio, but just like is this could be just a me curiosity, but is there like that fear of people sort of being like,
Yeah.
oh, celebrity,
Are there any
Hit
fake
you up with
Dakas
that.
out there?
Mm.
Name them now.
I'm calling out this person for a boxing match.
Yeah.
I know, like, I think it's after an award show, I don't remember which one, he went on with, like, Bemby or, like, Kay Beza or something, or, like, along those lines.
Oh, me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
Oh, it was the Brits after
Yeah,
party.
that
Yeah,
one.
I went with Puri. She's really nice.
Yeah.
Legend. Yeah, so it's interesting. I don't think I'm quite at a level yet where I'm really seeing like I'm having too much of a problem with that. But I think having even experienced a little bit, I can see how it would make life really hard if people kind of want to get in with you for views or for like clout and stuff like that. I think I've definitely had people come up that I don't know, I think I generally can feel quite quickly if someone's being genuine or not. I think it's pretty obvious when someone's interested in getting to know you as a person, as opposed to like, you know, trying to get in with you.
Sort of dollar signs in the eyes, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or pounds, because we're in the UK.
It doesn't have the same ring to it though.
No.
Pounds in the eye.
The British sterling.
Yeah. GBP.
GBP.
One of my top artists
GB
for the
peepers.
last couple of years is Dodie and Orla Gartland, and they obviously, I think Dodie wrote a song literally called Parasocial Relationships. Yes, Jacob.
I shook Orla's hand.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, I've met Orla. She's
nice.
so nice.
Yeah,
She's
she's
so
really
nice.
cool.
My anecdote for the day is that apparently I look like her, or I used to when I had really short hair.
I can see it.
And I made a video about it, and she liked it, and now kind of knows me from that. So we're besties, basically. But yeah, Dodie wrote a song about parasocial relationships, and I always found it fascinating with kind of people going into the music industry and how they. Because, I mean, I started listening to Dodie when I was about 16, and to me, she was everything. You know, they literally were. I knew everything about them, and like, but it's sort of that is not the case. What do you kind of make of like parasocial relationships and all that?
I think it's messy.
Yeah.
I think it's weird, and the internet does create weird things. And I've been very conscious because I've definitely had fans that like it's super intense, and I don't mind to like receiving it, but it's more just like wanting people to be healthy and to not be pinning too much on me, a person like they've met like once or twice in their life. You know, I think we're very quick to give so much credit to other people as opposed to ourselves. And like, you know, if you connect with a song, yes, the artist made that song, but you are the one that made that connection with it, and you know how you feel about the song, and you give yourself that song when you're feeling down. You know, I don't think we give enough credit to ourselves being the sort of main reason for our happiness,
like
or
we make
feeling
the meaning
better.
sort of out of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
For ourselves,
Yeah, I think it's really good to
yeah.
like have people that you admire and people that you really like, and content that cheers you up, but also understanding that like someone isn't what their content is, you know, and you don't know. You don't know
You're not
someone.
a lizard?
Turns out, guys. I just pull this off and there's just another lizard.
Are you one of those like secret lizard people?
Yeah. This one unzips from here, the other one unzips from here. But yeah, I think it's just like, I just think we just need a bit more of a healthy balance and understanding. And I don't know whether it's happening in schools yet, but I think a big thing with the rise of social media, I think really there is a responsibility to teach kids about social media and how it works, and just giving them kind of tools to make sure that they're using it safely and not generating unhealthy relationships, because it's been like studied to be so psychologically just like even just messing with the chemicals in your brain. You know, there's only so much you can control that, rather than like controlling your behavior and being aware of it before going in, basically.
I mean, it is interesting because I suppose maybe to a lesser extent you, Rachel, but like we are sort of the last generation that experienced a childhood without social media, because I didn't get a phone till like the middle of secondary school. So like still running around the old junior school playground.
I got my first phone when I was in like year 4, year 5.
Exactly.
Wow. No.
But like I just
Lethal.
couldn't imagine that, like sort of little young Ben with a phone. Like,
I'm so glad that I didn't, because I think it let me be a bit more free with. I mean, I was cosplaying, guys. And those photos are nowhere, thank God.
That's a shame.
What did you cosplay as? This is a serious question.
Okay, do you know Vocaloid? I was Len from Rin and Len from Vocaloid. So that happened. Dressed as Lilo and Stitch for a Comic-Con.
I was about to say,
Actually,
go to Comic-Cons.
Yeah, so did all that, and you know, was like big on Tumblr and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, but it's just, it was platforms where you weren't like posting photos of yourself all day, and I
Yeah.
think there was just so much less self-consciousness as opposed to like seeing people at the same age that I was, where I was wearing like the most cringe stuff and just looked young, you know, to now I think there's this like rush to be already present, like I think it's a rush to be a brand. Really, like your social media is your branding. Everyone's marketing themselves, you know, and I just think that sucks. Like you can't just live without feeling documented, or you have to prove something, or you have to look a certain way. It's just, I'm sad that that's happening from a younger age now, but hopefully people are educating kids to use it appropriately.
I suppose it's a double whammy, because like employers now just almost look for you as a brand, like they all check your social media and that. But I mean, how did you sort of get into the music industry? You know, was it just sort of, do you just sort of, because you sort of mentioned before that you studied sort of music at university.
I actually studied maths at university.
Oh, what was the what was the music part?
Oh, I just did like music clubs at uni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Apologies. That is
No,
Society.
Ben Mellor distinction there. But, so sort of, how did you sort of get into the music industry? Was it sort of by accident? Was it always your plan, or?
I've always wanted, I mean, since I was sort of 14, I was writing and singing songs and started gigging and playing sort of around. I grew up around Cambridge, so was playing around the town and stuff.
East of England.
Yeah.
Norwich.
East England.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. My cousins are from Norwich. So. But yeah, I think it was like, what am I saying? My brain's gone. Yeah. I just, East Anglia. Home.
I was there last week. Lovely.
Yeah. So I was gigging around Cambridge and stuff, but I had really no concept of the music industry. I didn't really understand it. I just knew that I liked making music, and I also grew up watching like Dodie and Orla Gartland and like YouTubers like that. So my sort of experience of music was kind of being shared on, I guess, on social media still, but you know, through people in their bedrooms still. So I didn't really understand record labels or how a career happens or how money gets made or anything like that. Was really like foreign to me. But yeah, I studied maths at uni because I just didn't really have the confidence pre-uni, and I had really bad stage fright as well, so like I just didn't think I'd be able to be an artist, because I didn't think I'd be able to tour, because I had such bad like performance anxiety basically. So it took kind of 3 years at uni just kind of building up my confidence, so that when I left I was like, okay, no, I want to do music. But I left still not knowing anything about the industry, not having no clue how to get into it and what that path was. So I did lots of gigging still, and then COVID happened and the whole music industry shut down anyway, so I basically took to online then and started. I've always made YouTube videos and stuff. If anyone goes through my YouTube back catalogue, you are in for a treat. I cannot believe
That's my evening sorted.
Honestly, I cannot believe the stuff that I've just left up there.
Did you play the ukulele?
I did.
You were a fan of
I never like grasped ukulele enough. So I don't even know what I was on. I was doing like piano and guitar, and I was still like producing at that point, but like just a bit looser. But no, just did all kinds of stuff, but I never got to kind of commit to it. So when lockdown happened, I was like, nice, I finally have a time where I can like fully just like tunnel vision in on social media and content and trying to express myself and improve my production skills, which was a big part of like, I wanted to still produce all my music. So yeah, I went and just did loads and loads and loads of videos and covers, and I did DIY covers where I would take songs I loved and then made them using like sampling random objects, and they started getting reposts. I did a Still Woozy cover that he reposted. I honestly lost the plot. And then and I did one Easy Life cover they reposted, insane. And then I did a Glass Animals one that they reposted, and that ended up being part of like a big cover and remix competition that Glass Animals did. And so and this was all pre-TikTok, so this was stuff that was all building my Instagram and YouTube basically. And then I started TikTok, but that was the thing that ended up really going, because of the nature of the platform, did this speedy growth rather than the kind of like slow and steady growth. But it's quite nice to have both, because I didn't feel like I don't see myself as like a TikToker or someone that solely relies on TikTok, because I have others like platforms that I've been putting lots of energy in where I have a fan base. So it's really weird reading like, I don't know, on like celebrity birthdays or something. It's like Ellie Dixon is a TikTok star, and it's really weird. Yeah, exactly. Your words, not mine. It's sort of weird reading bios like that, because I know how long I've been making music for and what platforms, and the fact that TikTok was like, I think you'll try alongside all the other stuff.
It's almost unfair, really, to, you know, just call that your thing that made you. Well, I guess it did make you kind of the big thing that you are now, but it's not everything that you are.
It's just it's just what people know of me, though, I guess, isn't it? And it's whether they want to search everything else out.
I suppose it's like how Gordon Ramsay hates being called a celebrity chef, even though he is very quintessentially the definition of a celebrity chef.
Look it up in Oxford Dictionary.
It's
Gordon
fate.
Ramsay.
It's literally.
Oh.
I guess it's just the titles other people give you, but then how you identify yourself, and then being able to separate the two.
Queen Dinosaur.
That's how I identify.
The big lizard.
So.
You know what? I respect that. I mean, other than wearing a dinosaur costume, is there sort of, just throughout all your time within the music industry, is there any part that you found like your most favourite? Perhaps it's the sampling, the singing, the gigging. Just what do you love the most?
That's such a good question. I think it has to be like writing and producing music, and when there's like a specific moment when I'm writing, so I write while I produce, which I really like, because it feels like it has a really good flow, because I can get a beat going, and then maybe I'll have lyric ideas, or maybe I want to add some guitar, and I find it like a really nice loop, because there's so many things I can do, and then they all inspire the next step. It feels like a really good flow, and there's like a specific feeling when I'm writing something that I'm really happy with, and you go into like a flow state, and you're just writing, and you're really happy with what's coming out, and that's like the magic. And I think that's the case for a lot of artists and producers. The magic moment is that feeling of like, I'm writing something I really like right now.
On the flip side, what happens when you're not in that flow state? Have you ever had like writer's block? Like, what's your
it's a good question, and it happens all the time. Like I'll have a couple of weeks where I'll write nothing good, and then suddenly I'll write a banger, you know. I think you have to write rubbish as well as really good stuff, because it's all part of the exercise, and it's like facilitating those magic moments when they do happen, but they don't happen all the time at all. It's but I've had like months where I haven't been able to write anything, and it's just kind of, I think it's not judging yourself is my biggest thing, because and it's much easier said than done. I preach this, like I can do that, but I'll be so stroppy if I can't write something that I want to write. But I think it's the sort of bigger picture thing of like
another trip to the Cotswolds.
Exactly. If only.
Other regions are available.
Yeah.
True.
Nottinghamshire.
Yeah, there we go.
You said about us.
Pardon? Is that a county?
Well, Nottinghamshire, yeah.
That is the county.
Yeah.
I'm a Midlands boy, so I can give you the Midlands facts.
Nice.
East Midlands to be exact. You know, sorry, Birmingham, not my area of expertise.
Yeah.
But East Midlands. There you go.
There you go.
This may be more of a silly question.
Love it.
You consider the North to start? Perhaps the most controversial question you'll answer.
Okay, so
is there a Midlands to you?
Get ready to upset the entire nation.
So I'm
you
ready
can
to
play
get
a pass.
cancelled. For me, as a southerner with very limited geography knowledge, and I've only recently, so this radio tour has actually been very enlightening, because I've now learnt where Leeds and Manchester are in the UK.
I still don't know.
Yeah.
Basically.
I would say personally Manchester and up is north.
That's pretty north.
Okay.
It's pretty north.
In my head,
Yeah.
it was always Birmingham and
Oh,
yeah.
that's worse.
Birmingham is so solidly Midlands to me. So I went to uni in Warwick, which is like in
Yes.
Coventry.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm.
at Warwick.
that
That's
is-
like impressive.
It was a lot. But yeah, so I was always around Birmingham, which felt very Midlands to me.
Yeah.
And then I feel like Sheffield is like North Midlands, maybe starting to get a bit north.
Yeah.
See, that is the most correct answer I've ever heard, in
wow.
my opinion.
Ding
So,
ding.
there you go.
Thank you.
You've won the support of the Midlands. So successful radio tour. What can you say?
Hello Midlands.
I think that might be about all we have time for, though.
I do believe, unless there's any sort of burning, final, pressing, super questions any guys have.
Some
Oh,
questions, hang on.
actually, one thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Warwick-wise,
Yes.
obviously my sister went as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Warwick massive.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sim.
Apparently there was a heron there called Harold or something.
There was definitely
Yeah.
well, there was at least 2 herons, I would say actually, but
Oh,
I
okay.
personally didn't name them.
Oh,
But they were good birds.
good birds.
Good birds.
Okay, would
Great
we-
bird content. Very aggressive geese at Warwick.
We've got a lot of geese here.
But they're,
They're
lovely.
They are.
Oh.
They're
Not as
always
many
lovely.
as in
Like, they're
Warwick,
just-
though.
Warwick's known for aggressive geese.
Yeah.
Like really quite.
I think it scarred my sister.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, like if they were all across a path on the way to your lecture, like
Yeah.
you would find another way.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. They were aggressive.
But that's the interesting thing about this campus. Like, there's millions, well, probably not millions.
Millions
but
of
it feels
geese.
like millions of geese here. But they just don't care about people. Like, they just
Yeah.
happily let you walk
Happily,
through
yeah.
them. Like,
That's
you
great.
you probably pet them to be. I mean, I don't advise it, but you probably could get away with it.
I
But
did see someone petting a geese on my way to a lecture. That was an interesting Narnia. Like,
I've never seen anyone pet a goose.
yeah.
I don't think
I was
I've
scared
had
for
that.
their
From-
safety.
Going from
Mm.
geese to lizards. So
Ah.
your music video, Big Lizard
Yes.
Energy, has just
Yes.
come out. Can you tell
Yeah.
us, for like the fun bit of this interview, kind of inspirations behind it, how the music video especially came about as well?
Yeah. Oh, I
It's a
love
fun
this
music
video.
video,
It's really
yeah.
fun.
Thank you. Yeah, so I came up with kind of the full story of the video,
Mhm.
and then I took it to a director called Joel, who was just amazing and who kind of filled in the blanks and
Yeah.
storyboarded it and made it happen. But yeah, the kind of I really like the video because it feels like it kind of gives the song the perfect story that it's talking about, which is like me in my room feeling like rubbish, and then using the kind of lizard suit as almost like a suit of armor to start kind of pushing through, doing self-care things, like, and then took it to a more comedic place of getting my nails done, getting a massage, but then like going to therapy and doing stuff that is synonymous with valuing yourself and looking
Yeah.
after yourself. And then kind of the third part of the video is then taking that into the rest of the world and giving out free hugs and passing on that care and that love and that energy to other people. And that was really how the song felt to me, which was that I felt like rubbish, came up with kind of a coping mechanism, and then wanted to make that into a song to share with other people. So I feel like the music video told that story,
Yeah.
but kind of more visually and comically, I guess.
Brilliant.
I love
Yeah.
that song, man. It's really good.
Thanks.
right, and I suppose no final burning question from you.
No, I'm all good.
No?
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Have a lovely
Yeah.
time.
Right. Yeah, so thank you for tuning into this very special edition of the Mellob Experience, and this is probably our peak. This is the best. This is the best.
We
guest
can
we're
quit
ever gonna get. We could just retire now.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining. You've
Thanks for
been
having me.
It's been
fantastic.
a pleasure.
Lovely.
Honestly.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
There we go. Really like a cheesy sitcom wave to the camera. Da, 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 da. Okay.
Hello, I'm Ellie Dixon, and this is Big Lizard Energy for URN. Think I got a problem with proportions. Freaking out cause everything feels so damn important. Hit the red alert when it's just a bit of caution. Yeah, I drove myself to exhaustion, but I've been growing. Call it a 5-star thriller tiptoeing. Over your roof, I'm a killer, mind blowing. Perspective makes it all chiller. I'm growing, I'm growing, I'm growing. Problems are big, but I'm bigger. I'm a Jurassic killer. Problems are monster, run for your life. And now I'm feeling so reptilian, taking down my issues like they're just civilians. New blockbuster, making their millions. Don't really care about their opinions, cause I've been growing. Call it a 5-star thriller tiptoeing over your roof, I'm a killer, mind blowing. Perspective makes it all chiller. I'm growing, I'm growing, I'm growing. Problems are big, but I'm bigger. I'm a Jurassic killer. Problems are big, but I'm bigger. I'm a Jurassic killer. Big lizard energy, cold-blooded enemy. Not so scared when I'm 320 feet. Big lizard energy, cold-blooded enemy. Not so scared when I'm 320 feet. Big lizard energy, cold-blooded enemy. Not so scared when I'm 320 feet. Lizard energy, cold-blooded enemy. Not so scared when I'm 320 feet. Problems are big, but I'm bigger. I'm a Jurassic killer. Problems are big, but I'm bigger. I'm a Jurassic killer. Problems are but big, but I'm bigger. I'm a Jurassic killer. Problems are big, but I'm bigger. I'm a Jurassic killer.